pretty sure you've already heard of ChatGPT, unless you're my mom, which in that case, here's what it is. It's an AI language model so smart that it passed the US medical exam and the bar exam. It takes years of studies, training, and practice to become a professional videographer and director, and apparently AI can plan and direct a commercial in less than 10 seconds. So today I'm asking AI to write and direct a cinematic Coca-Cola commercial, and we're going to follow every instruction down to the last detail. I've dedicated my entire life to creating videos and progressing as a creator, so if AI can do this without any training, I might be out of a job. Let's do this. Let's see what ChatGPT can do. By the way, say hi to Ria, my husky. So we're using the most updated model here. This is ChatGPT 4. Now first, we gotta make sure we're safe. Are you sentient? So it doesn't have consciousness or self-awareness yet. We'll see where we're at in a few years. Let's get into the challenge. I'm asking it to pretend to be a professional commercial director. So, give me a detailed shot list for a soda commercial for social media. No actors and a plain backdrop. We're talking about an opening shot, a close-up shot of the bottle sweating, a top shot, a bottle opening shot. Now, let's ask it what kind of equipment I should use. How do I light each shot? What should my camera settings look like? What's interesting here is I have to be ultra detailed with how I'm asking ChatGPT for help. Otherwise, it gives me a lot of generalized or vague directions, so you almost have to know exactly what you're asking for to get the right answer. Alright, we've got a list of everything we need. We have the gear list, we got the camera settings, we got the lighting setups, and we got the shot list. We got a list of 7 shots to complete in the studio. We're gonna follow all these instructions down, and then we're gonna have one of my friends judge it. Let's do this. Alright, first step, let's kill the lights. ChatGPT didn't really explain exactly what to put on the rotating platform, so we have a little board from B-Flat there. We have two 200XS's as a key light, 45 degrees from the bottle. We have that bounce card as an edge light and a little bit of a fill. So I'm a little bit curious about its choice for those strips of light on the bottle. I feel like it might be a little bit distracting, but we'll see in the edit. All right, before we get the shot off, we're matching exactly the settings that ChatGPT said. It said a shutter speed of 1/100, an aperture of f8, and then a ISO of 100. So strike one for ChatGPT. This is completely underexposed right now, so we're going to have to break the rules a little bit. All right, so it did say we could go as low as f5.6 for this commercial, so we're gonna take that aperture and bring it down to f5.6, and then adjust our exposure accordingly. Shot 2, we're going for the close-up of the bottle sweating. We're positioning the main softbox light at a 45-degree angle above the bottle, aiming it downward to create a contrast and highlight the condensation on the bottle. Then we're gonna place a secondary softbox light or a bounce card on the opposite side to fill in the shadows, ensuring that the condensation remains visible and defined. So we're going with this strip light as the main key light based off ChatGPT's recommendations, just because the strip light has a more controlled source of light. We're going to use the Canon Macro 100mm, and I'm pretty surprised that ChatGPT knew what that was. So let's try it out. Okay, so we're just dialing in the settings based off ChatGPT's recommendations. We got that 1/100, f11, but it's asking for an ISO of 100, and that's gonna make our shot way underexposed. So we're gonna cheat a little bit and pump up our ISO to get the exposure right. All right, for the bird's eye view, we gotta reposition the camera directly above the rotating platform, capturing a bird's eye view of the bottle. Ensure the Coca-Cola logo is visible and perfectly aligned. Aligned to what? We don't know, because ChatGPT didn't say. And then record another full rotation of the bottle from this angle, emphasizing the cap and the bottle shape. Going back to the shot list, anything that doesn't say use the macro lens, we're going to use the 24-70. Okay, we just finished up the bird's eye view shot. I don't know how I feel about the composition once again, because ChatGPT didn't specifically say anything other than just having that logo nice and center. We'll see how this looks in the edit, but let's move on to the bottle opening shot. We gotta bring the camera back up to eye level and frame a close-up of the can. And it says use a small motorized device or well-hidden hand or glove in black to open the cap. Record the shot in slow motion, capturing the detail of the cap opening and the first release of the carbonated beverage. For lighting, we gotta position the main softbox light above and slightly behind the bottle cap, angled downward to create contrast and bring attention to the cap opening. Use a bounce card or a secondary softbox light on the opposite side to fill in any shadows and to ensure that the cap and the bottle remain well lit. I just realized I misread ChatGPT's instructions. It was 2 key lights or a key light and a bounce. So we're breaking the rules right now. We're gonna take this out and look at how big of a difference this is going to make when we take away this bounce. It's gonna make that edge of that bottle disappear into the blackness, but ChatGPT suggested this, so let's do it. So we got this bottle opening shot in one take. Now it's time for shot number 5, pouring the Coca-Cola. We're setting up a transparent glass filled with ice cubes, placing it next to the open Coca-Cola bottle on the rotating platform, and then we're positioning the camera at a low angle. And then we're gonna slowly pour the Coca-Cola into the glass, capturing the fizz and the dark, rich color of the beverage as it fills the glass. For the settings, it doesn't say whether it needs to be in slow-mo or not, so we're just going to go back to 24 frames per second. We just added this bounce here instead of using this key light, just so we don't have two large streaks of light on the sides of the bottle. Instead, we just have this really soft highlight now because of this bounce. It's time to roll. You want some?
Things go better with Coke.
Now it's time for shot 6. Some say the most important, it's the logo reveal. We're changing lenses again, so ChatGPT is specific sometimes and not other times, but yeah, it's time for shot 6. We're gonna record with the logo out of focus and slowly adjust the focus until the logo becomes sharp and clear, ensuring a strong, memorable brand image. Poetry by ChatGPT. So 1/100 for the shutter speed. We're going f11 based off ChatGPT's recommendations. We're sitting right around 5,000 for the ISO. Right now I'm adding a piece of tape so that when I rack this focus, I can visually see it and do it consistently for a couple takes and not pass the focus point and go out of focus multiple times. For this last shot, ChatGPT wants a bottle of Coke with a full glass of Coke. It didn't give us any instructions for the lighting or the camera settings, so we're kind of just following suit with what we did earlier with the first wide shot. That was the last shot, and now it's time to take it to the editing bay.
Yo, my name's Lo-Fi, and I'm a robot who is editing this commercial directed by another robot. Okay, so I'm looking over the footage now. ChatGPT, not too shabby. Okay, let's see how we can edit this together. So here's how I edited this commercial. I first got my assembly cut based on what ChatGPT recommended. Then I layered in some music and fine-tuned the editing based on that. I went back to ChatGPT and asked how to edit transitions, and it gave me some nifty recommendations from dissolves to zooms and even wipes. How would you color grade this? What kind of sound effects would you use? I added some spins, some zooms just to enhance the editing. I also added some speed ramps and other graphics, adding bubbles to hide a transition. Then I layered in some color grading. I'm using Lumetri Color, but you can use DaVinci or whatever software you have available. And I just did what ChatGPT said, which is to increase the saturation, contrast, and the color tones. Then I layered in a ton of sound effects. Some ice cubes falling, hits and risers, the sound of a beer bottle opening, anything to enhance what you are visually seeing. And now we have our commercial from ChatGPT. Let's send it over to Max's friend and see what he thinks.
Well, that's pretty good. That's like a commercial. That bubble transition, that was pretty neat. ChatGPT directed this whole commercial. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. This felt very much like a normal commercial. I wouldn't have thought that this was directed by an AI. So creativity is gonna be more of how you execute an idea instead of the idea itself. I think that's most of where creativity comes from now anyways. I would absolutely give this commercial, I mean, at least an 8. Maybe because of the black background, it's hard to see the soda. One of the things humans can do is they can adapt to a project. So AI is just simply trying to copy humans. But as a creative start, as a way of giving people ideas on how to go about some of these as like a starting place, I think AI is an amazing tool. And it just makes people getting out there and actually creating, it makes that easier. I think this is great.
This commercial was impressive. AI had some in-depth knowledge when it came to forming a shot list, a gear list. However, it didn't have so much of an in-depth knowledge when it came to composition or camera settings especially. There were so many underexposed camera settings that it gave us. And it felt like some of the shot choices were rather generic in my opinion. ChatGPT can give you a great place to start. It can give you a great first draft. But when it comes to putting some extra Cinebay flavor, as Kevin Reyes would say,
Cinebay Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
You gotta put in some work and use your own creativity. So I'm not too afraid of ChatGPT taking my job anytime soon, but we'll see in the near future. If you liked this video, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the process and let me know which shot was your favorite. Subscribe for more content like this and I'll see you in the next one.